and welcome back to my channel. Now today, for Tea Talk, I have my lovely neighbor. Oh, just hit you in the head with the hat. And Dan just walked in the door. But I have my neighbor slash friend, Ashley LeMieux, and I'm just really excited to have her here today in my living room.
So excited.
We've actually already been chatting for like
an hour.
Yeah. I was like, we should probably start filming because I told her like, you'll be out in an hour. And then she comes in and I drop bombs on her. We're talking about all this stuff. So I'm excited to have her here. Now, it's not an official tea talk today. It's a water and a tea talk. She's not a tea drinker, but I still let her on the show.
Do we have water?
So acceptable.
Water lovers out there.
Yes.
Unite.
Water lovers and tea lovers unite.
Cheers.
So it's not an official tea talk, but I still brought her here anyways. It's going to be very exciting. Take a little sip. And today, I'm just excited for you guys to get to know Ashley. And I'm excited too because even though Ashley and I have had many conversations, I mean, like I said, we just talked for like an hour before we hit go. I feel like I have a lot of things that I just don't know about you and your story. And I'm really excited to just like hear her talk and get to just ask the questions as they come to my head. Because I think this is just a really fun part of doing these videos, like hearing people's stories. And Ashley has, just from what I know of her story, an incredible one. You've done so much in like your little period of life already, like business and family and just life. So, I'm excited. So I feel like, do we intro you first? You're an author, you're a writer, you're a blogger, photographer, store owner.
I'm like half of those things, but yeah.
You're like all of those things to me. Superstar extraordinaire, fashionista, as you can tell. I feel like probably the main thing people know you for is the Shine Project.
Yes.
So, I don't know, should we talk about the Shine Project? Should we start from the beginning? Like born and raised and...
Sure.
Okay,
wherever you want to go.
Let's start there. Where are you from, Ashley?
Okay, so I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Very cool, in the warm weather.
In the warm weather.
Yeah.
And me and my husband are both from there. I lived there since I was like 8. And so we both grew up over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And
is Mike is from there?
Mike's
but
from there.
You moved over there.
Yeah. I was born in San Diego, so from California.
Ah.
Lived in Seattle and then grew up in Arizona.
Wow. Okay. So when did you meet Mike?
I met Mike in
who, by the way,
college.
is Dan's like boyfriend?
Yeah, they're boyfriend. Yeah, I'd
what's
say
the
boyfriend.
word for, they're like...
Bromance?
Bromance! Mike and Dan have a bromance. So.
I actually told Mike, I think yesterday, when I told him I was coming over here today, I said, just so you know, Dan and Nikki are going out of town on Thursday for a while. And he goes, what? He goes, oh my gosh, Kate, I need to text Dan. We have to go to lunch before he leaves.
Oh, that's so sweet. And that's so cute, too, because yesterday Dan's like, so I'm going to go get lunch, but I got to text Mike first. I was like, why? He's like, I want to see if Mike can come. I was like, you guys are so, like, they really just, he's like, we got to play Kung Fu all together, which is this, like, really weird video game we have.
We haven't done it yet.
So we haven't done it yet. We'll do it soon. You guys are going to kick our butt, though, because I'm not very good. Dan's like, you guys can play goalie. I was like, okay. Ashley and I will be the goalies.
We'll leave the snacks in the background. That's what we'll do.
Snacks we'll make guac. It'll be good. Yeah. So you grew up basically in Arizona, and when did you meet Mike?
So I met Mike in college. He saw a picture of me on our mutual friend's desk. So he had become really good friends with my girlfriends, but I was on a mission for my church at the time, so I was gone for 1.5 years.
Oh.
And I had a boyfriend who we had dated on and off for years and years and years. So
wow.
So I was not
in that zone.
I was not in the zone, and I was gone. So he saw a picture of me, and he's like, "Who's this girl? Why haven't I met her yet?"
Wow.
And they're like, "Oh, don't even pay mind to her because she's not going to be home for a long time, and she's going to be dating somebody else."
I like that wording. Don't pay mind.
Don't
to
pay
her.
mind to her.
Eyes over here.
So apparently, when I got home, me and my girlfriends and some friends went salsa dancing. So I'd been gone 1.5 years, get home, and I do not remember this, but he was there. And he was so excited to meet me and so excited for this big salsa dancing night. And he says, if you ask him about it, he's like, you didn't even acknowledge me. Like, you didn't.
Oh, that's probably true since you don't even
I
remember the night.
Were you there?
Oh,
you were not there.
Oh, that's so sweet and sad.
That was the first time we met.
Oh, and you swept him away with your salsa skills?
My salsa skills are really good, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you don't remember him, too, because I feel like Mike is,
he's
the
a
dancing
tall
life
guy.
of the party.
Yeah, and he's, big. He's a tall human.
How tall is he? 6'?
6'3".
Okay. Yeah, he's tall.
So, anyways, a couple months after that, we were friends from the same friend circle. And then the first time he asked me out on a date, all of our friends, because we all would hang out together, they told everyone, oh, hey, Ashley and Mike are going to the fair tonight, so we're all going to the fair. So our first date turned into a big just friend group outing because we always just hung out together.
In a group,
In a group. So we finally went on our first official date in October. He broke up with me for one day in November, then begged for me back.
Can I ask why he broke up with you, or is that...
Yes.
Okay.
Because he knew I was the one and he had never had a serious girlfriend before. So then the week after...
Oh, so he got scared?
We got back together. He told me he loved me, so that was in November. We were engaged on Christmas. And married in March.
What?
So that was 8 years ago.
Wait, so that was October, November... So that was 5-6 months.
We were engaged after 2 months.
Oh.
2.5 months. And then we were married within... whatever that math is, 5 months? I don't know. Married.
Wow. So what were you guys doing at the time? Dan and I, when we got married, we had to live in a garage because we were so broke. So what were you guys doing? What were you living like?
So we were in college. Mike had lived with some friends, and then right when we got engaged, he moved home with his parents to save money. I had just gotten off of my mission, so I was living with my parents, saving money, and we were both in college full time. We were poor, broke as a joke.
I like that saying.
And so after we got married, we lived in someone's guest house for a few months, and then with the wedding money that we had got for our wedding, we put a small down payment on the most ghetto condo.
You posted a picture of it.
I feel like we should flash a picture.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
I literally was just they
okay.
have to see the picture because you posted this when you were in Arizona, right? That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, so we just celebrated our 8-year anniversary, and I'm like, we have to drive by our first place because that place is just so symbolic of so many things. But it was infested with cockroaches.
My least favorite thing on the planet.
And we were so poor. It was so hard to get rid of them. There were thousands of them there for months.
Thousands?
Oh my gosh. And they kept having babies. I can't talk about it.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Okay. Woo.
We graduated school from there, and we ate beans and rice almost every night for dinner because that's what we could afford. Then one time, his car broke down and my car got stolen at the same time frame.
Stop it. Are you serious?
And
I just got chills.
My car that I had, so picture this in Phoenix in the summer, it gets to be 120. My windows were broken.
Okay.
So they were down.
Okay.
And the AC didn't really work. So I'd be going places in 120 degrees in the middle of the Phoenix summer. I'd get there, I'd be literally drenched in sweat, bright red. People are like, what is wrong with her? Or if it was monsooning outside,
no, I can't.
The rain would come pouring.
So hey guys, I'm here. It's me, Ashley.
So I was either wet from rain or wet from sweat. And that was our life.
So your car...
But it was so simple.
Yes. So your car got broken into the same day his car got stolen.
His car broke down the same...
Oh,
it was with the same couple weeks as mine. His was guzzling oil, so he kept having to pour quarts of oil in it, and it just stopped working. Then mine got stolen.
Oh, I love hearing this though because I feel like so many people... I'll hear people talk about getting married, and they're like, oh, we're not getting married yet. And I'm like, oh, why not? Maybe they're still dating, whatever. But almost all the time, the answer is well, we don't have the money. And I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. I did not have the money to get married. And so I love hearing that because it's just you can make things work. And not only can you make things work, but then it's so beautiful because most of the time that is not going to be your life the rest of your life. So you end up creating these memories that while they might be so hard in the moment, they're so beautiful in retrospect. You're like, you and me, we've been there.
We did this.
Yes.
We got through it. And we got through it. And, during that time, too, I knew I didn't want that to be the rest of our lives together. I didn't want that struggle in that way to be our lives. And so
Yeah.
during that time is actually when I started the Shine Project.
Okay, so this goes into like a whole other huge chapter, and I have to like pause before this point before we go into this. This is one of the things that I really love about you, because I've met a lot more because of the internet. The internet has opened the world of women and people up to me, but I don't know a whole lot of women that like, how do I word this? I feel like I'm about to sound offensive, and I don't mean this offensively. It's just interesting.
Don't take offense.
Yeah. That have that kind of drive to go build something in a business type way. I just feel like it tends to be a male dominated world. I guess that's the way I'm kind of trying to word that.
I think it is a male dominated world, and I also think, what I was going to school for, I was going to school in English. I was an English major. My dream's always been to be a writer, but then I was going to go to law school.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but my world, I didn't have business training, and I didn't, and how often do we get a lot of business training?
Yeah.
Or here's how you manage employees, or here's how you take this amount of money to then start this and be successful and have it turn into this. Like, there's not a lot of info out there, and the only way to really figure it out is to throw yourself in the middle of it and figure it out by doing it. So luckily for me, I had a super supportive husband, and so that kind of helped. Well, that did help.
Yeah.
That really helped open the gates for me to be like, okay, we're going to do this and be in it together.
Yeah.
And figure this out.
So what gave you the idea? Do you have a moment that you remember being like, oh, that's it? Okay, what is it?
Okay, so I got to give you a little background, because so during this time, my husband and I are newly married, living in that cockroach condo, and it was our senior year of college, and for my senior year of college, I had an internship. And the internship that I had was at an inner city high school in Phoenix, and my job there was to help juniors and seniors in high school prepare to go to college. And these students that I was working with, a lot of them were the first in their families to even graduate from high school, let alone consider even going to college.
Wow.
A lot of them were missing school because they were working multiple jobs to help support their family, or they had to stay home to babysit siblings, or they just had so much against them. So I'm working with them for a while, and my heart is just breaking because I see what they could do in their life if they just had the resources and that push to go do it.
Yeah.
At the same time, because I'm going to graduate from college that semester, I also wanted something that would help motivate me so that when I graduated, I could
hop right onto something
and do something that I was proud
passionate
of.
About.
And so I had chosen a word for my year to help me just guide my year and to motivate me. And the word that I chose was shine. And
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because to me, to shine means to stand out. It means to keep pressing forward with hope and light, even when you feel like there's darkness or things going against you. And I wanted to shine that year because it was my year to figure things out and enter into the career world that I'd been working so hard to
get
be a part of.
Well, one, before you go on, I love, because I think I heard you, it was in your Stand Up and Shine challenge. I don't know if I saw all of them, but I think I saw like 5 or 6 of the videos. And I think you said in that you pick a word every year.
Yeah.
First off, I just love that. I think that's so focused as opposed to just like a long list of things. So that's a side note. And that's so amazing that one word spurred something that ended up changing and affecting so many people.
It was crazy.
Amazing. And then second off, in that video, you were talking about shining, and you were using the example how in one of your talks, you had a girl stand up with like a cell phone light, and how when she shined it shined onto someone else, and then they were illuminated, and they shined it. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. Like, just, I don't know, I'm randomly bringing that up, but it's not random because we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I love that word and that analogy. And okay, so you picked the word.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. And so I wanted to, and I love writing. And everyone growing up would tell me, when they'd ask me what I wanted to be, I'd say I want to be a writer. And then it was like,
it's like saying you want to be an actress.
Yeah, that's like saying I don't know. Yeah,
or an astronaut or like something.
Yeah, I'm going to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but what are you going to do to make money? And so
Yeah.
that's kind of why I went to school for English, but I knew, well, that can't be what I do because everyone's told me it can't be, so I'm going to go to law school. And so during that time was when, blogger.com was, everyone had their blogs on Blogger, and there was no Instagram, there was no really social media. Facebook.
The dark ages.
Yeah, the dark ages. And so I decided I'd start a blog, and I thought, if I feel the way I do and need to be motivated and inspired in my life, I know there are millions of women around the world who feel the same way and just need a place where they can go to be encouraged and find positive things because there's so much junk out there. So I decided I'd start a blog, and it was called The Shine Project.
Oh, so the blog started before. Gotcha, but these things were happening concurrently.
At the same time.
Gotcha.
So, by the end of that semester, after working with these students at the inner city high school and working on my blog had grown so that by the time I graduated from college that semester, I could be self-employed from the money I was making from advertising on my blog.
Wow.
And it wasn't a crazy amount.
But that's pretty crazy.
But it was.
That was like what? How many years ago?
Yeah, it was
7 years.
It was
8.
That would have been 7 years ago.
So you figured out like influencer marketing or how to monetize.
I was hustling so hard.
You are such
and
a
I'd be
hustler,
reaching
man.
out, and it was when you could charge for sidebars.
Yeah.
So I'd be like reaching out to brands. Hey, it's only $100. So I knew if I got a certain amount, then it would pay for whatever I needed throughout the month. So
I just love that about you.
So that's where my mind was. But then during that time, as my blog was growing and my heart was just bursting for these students, I thought, you know what? I need to help be a voice for these youth. So let's use my blog platform to raise some scholarship money for some of these students. So we put on a big event and we raised, I don't know, it was like $10,000 during our fundraising month. And so I could give the first 7 students scholarships. So then fast forward a couple months, and one of the students that I had met at the school kind of made a comment on Facebook about how he was joking about how he had to graduate from school that year with the same backpack that he had had for a long time. And I had remembered his backpack though, because it was just so worn and used, and I wanted to be able to have him graduate with confidence. So my husband and I, Mike, took him back to school shopping, and that's when this was my moment.
Gotcha.
Took you a long time to get here, but
that
was my moment. I had to tell you the whole story. Yeah. So we took him back to school shopping. We get to his house, and we walk in with his stuff, and there's nothing in the house. And we learned that he and his younger siblings slept on the tile floor every night. Didn't even have no beds, no nothing. Wow. They were struggling a lot. And I remember leaving where he lived, getting in my car and sobbing the entire way home. And I called my husband because we had driven separately. And I said, Mike, I'm going to be held accountable for the rest of my life if I've seen what I've seen in this new world of the inner city youth and not do anything about it. And I said, raising scholarship money isn't enough. And so I got to figure this out. So that is that's the experience that really launched the Shine Project. And I decided
it became
tangible. And I knew that I needed to help fill a need for these youth. So I knew that they needed jobs and they needed to be trained and to have skills that they could grow and learn in, so that by the time they graduated from college that they could be leaders in the community. A lot of them don't have great work ethic examples. A lot of them didn't have just some of these simple basic things you grew up learning that you take for granted. And some of them did, and some of them just needed extra resources. But so I decided that I needed to figure out a way where we could employ the youth, but then also bridge the gap between their world and then the worlds of the women who were reading my blog. Because the women who were reading my blog and then what I was doing where I was with these youth, they just live in totally different worlds. And I wanted to connect that so they could support each other, and so that the women could feel like they were helping someone outside of themselves.
Wow.
So I taught myself how to make jewelry.
Wow.
Which I never had any desire in doing, but did that, and then gave the first 7 kids
scholarship
jobs. The first 7 kids who had received scholarships, we gave them jobs making this jewelry. So it was my idea that these women could wear change and look at a piece of jewelry that they had purchased from us every day, realizing that one of these students had made it and they were directly, positively impacting their lives. And I just remember we launched, at this time we were still in our condo, so I'm driving just
you were still
crazy
in the
hours.
condo.
Still, cockroaches were gone.
They were gone.
They were gone. Thank you.
Yes.
But so I was driving hours a day to go drop off the supplies to the students who lived downtown, and then back to my house, which was 45 minutes away, and then picking things up, and it was chaotic. And I just remember praying so hard that first week that someone would buy something when we were going to launch. I'm like, at least my mom, like, please let my mom and her friends buy something.
Budget for this week, Mom.
Please. But I remember we made the announcement on my blog that we had launched, and everyone was super excited about it, and we sold out of everything we made that week.
Wow.
And that was, it'll be 6 years ago this June, and that started what is now the Shine Project.
What's amazing to me, like I almost wanted to like jump out of my skin when you said it, was making that, just the fact that you had the thought, I don't know, this just strikes me as so profound, as like wanting to bridge the worlds, these 2 separate worlds that you were living, of like these women that probably were well off on your blog to these kids that you were seeing like their lives and just all that they needed, and you thought, how can I bridge these 2 worlds together? And you created something so unique, something that benefits both parties in so many different ways. And I just think that that is such a cool, profound thought to like, I'm like, ooh, I want to take that for my life. Like, that's so cool that your brain operates that way.
Well, I think so many times it's so easy to just get, we get in our own worlds.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times too, we want to help other people, but we don't necessarily know how. And what I've learned is it doesn't have to be this huge grand thing, but there are such simple ways. And what's actually been interesting about the Shine Project is that when we give scholarship money or when we're working with students, almost every single time they tell me, Miss Ashley, it's not even about the money that we've received, which has been so helpful.
Yeah.
But to see people who we do not know believe in us and to believe in my future and to believe that I'm capable of accomplishing something in my life, that they feel that so greatly that they're willing to donate money to me, or that they're going to buy my jewelry.
Yeah.
We take students, so the students who work for us, they do everything from hand make the product to customer service to shipping online orders to packaging wholesale orders to...
So they learn the whole...
We fly them around the country and they work in-person events. And what I have loved is a lot of times the students in the beginning won't be super confident. They haven't had a lot of experience being in front of people, talking like this, with their friends and family, but not in a professional situation.
Yeah.
And so whenever they start, I love watching them start and work their first event where we're taking them to go sell their jewelry, and just how like, oh my gosh, so nerve-wracking that is for them. And then within a few months, seeing them just go and they're just on their flow,
so cool.
And their confidence just grows as they see people respond so positively to the work that they're doing, and the value that they're bringing, the society around them. So
I didn't know until you said that right now that they're involved in like all of these steps. I thought they were just making the jewelry, which alone is so cool. But now that you said that, like my brain is expanded to like, oh my gosh, so these kids are literally learning like how a business is run, like all of the elements, like those are huge. I'm getting chills. Those are huge skills to be able to walk away from.
And for anybody, right? For anybody. And then for them. So our goal is to have them ready to just go conquer the world after graduation, and to have some really good real life job experience and people experience so that they can be set up.
I keep getting
chills,
Ashley. That's so cool. I mean, okay, so what I'm wondering is, I feel like people who want to help, they have an idea, you were saying it doesn't have to be this huge thing, but how did you start? So like you're doing this internship, you're running the blog, and you're like, okay, I'm going to start making jewelry.
Yeah.
Like, were you just Googling all your questions? Were you just asking people? Were you like Questions McGee? Like, what were you?
I Googled the heck out of everything.
You're like the Google queen, huh?
I had to be, and because I had to figure things out. We also turned part of it into a nonprofit so we could get donations easier. I had no idea how to do that. I Googled, I learned, I read. We also, mind you, like we were still not making a ton of money. We just graduated, just finishing trying to pay off school.
Wow.
So we still didn't have a ton of money. And so I talked to Mike. I'm like, hey, can I take $300 and invest in this new company that I want to build? He's like, all right, let's do this. So at that time, $300 was like our food for the month, you know? I mean, it was a big leap, not even a leap, like a big jump off a cliff of faith. But we took $300 and I researched how to make some simple jewelry. And with that money, I bought the supplies and just launched it I made a really simple website on my own. Like, it was so bootleg, but it worked, right?
I like to call it those things janky. It was janky.
But it worked. Or scrappy. I like to call it scrappy. And I still feel like scrappy's a good quality to have, right?
Great quality to have.
Or scrappy. So
scrappy is such a great place to start, because I feel like so often when we want to do things, it's like we have this idea of what it has to be, and it stops us.
And we think it has to be perfect, and we think there can't be any flaws, and I think when we do that, we sell ourselves so short of what we could do, because we never are going to arrive at perfection. It's just not possible.
But especially out of the gate. Even if we do all the research in the world, you can't know without the experience.
And so I just really think we hold ourselves back from accomplishing what we could do because we get too afraid of ever starting, because we don't think that we're ever ready to start. And the truth is we're probably not really ever ready to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Because life is just so crazy, and that's what makes life so amazing, is that you get the opportunity to choose your own path and to push through hard things so that you can make your life what you want it to be. And it's never going to be perfect, and the best part of it is that it's okay.
Yes.
It doesn't
have
to
be. And I think sometimes those imperfections help to create a more unique story. Like, you learn from it, you adjust, your path kind of changes, and it makes it unique, and you learn so many lessons. And I sometimes swing on the opposite end. Like, I think I drive my employees, the people I work with, crazy sometimes, because I'm like, let's just go, it's fine, because I'm like so aware that, like, even if I tried to prepare a ton, like, I couldn't know what awaits me. So I'm like, let's just do it, like, we'll figure it out, sometimes to a fault. But I think because of that experience, it's just ingrained in me, like, in my life, I just have to go, like, it'll be figured out as we go. Yeah. So crazy. Okay, so another thing I think that is interesting in your story is Mike, because not everyone, I feel like we're in a really interesting age and time for women where, like you said, I mean, you don't have a ton of, like, access to, like, learning how to run a business. And as a woman, there's not a ton of women examples where you can be like, that's what I'm going to do, because women have only recently had the ability to be like, I think I want to be president or do whatever. It's like such a new thing. And I think because of that, sometimes marriages, it's a little complex. I think sometimes men don't know how to navigate it, like what it looks like, supporting a wife, being a teammate with a wife. And I look at you and Mike and your dynamic, and I just feel like it's so sweet the way that he believes in you. Yeah. And I just got chills again. I'm chills McGee today. But it's because it's so, like, there's no ego there.
There's no ego
He's
there.
so supportive. He sees you as a unit. And it's so evident in getting to know you guys more. Like, wow. And it's also really cool, not to brag on my husband, but that's the dynamic I have with Dan.
I feel like that's how Dan is, too.
It's like, and I just got chills again. Sorry, I always feel the need to announce when I get chills. I'm like, chills. But it's like, it's just really interesting to me. But yeah, that's how Dan is. There's no ego there, and he really believes in me, and it's so interesting. You look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, well, I just keep thinking, you might have heard this quote. I feel like it kind of goes around social media, because sometimes even women within each other get really catty or jealous or but knowing that another person's success doesn't take away from your success, I think that's kind of the gist of it all. And when you can find a partner or someone who's so confident in themselves that they can be equally, if not more, confident in you and cheer on your success because they know that that doesn't take away from their own value. That's what we need more of, right? And in all relationships, whether it's with a spouse or with girls or women, friends, to all, and we all have different talents, and so not comparing what I'm good at with what you're good at. So they're two totally different things sometimes, and
even if you're in the same vein, you're unique individuals.
Right.
Yeah. Has he been a part of the Shine Project from the beginning? Because I know so much of what you guys do is together and intertwined.
Yeah, so he's been a support of the Shine Project from the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, he would be with my interns helping ship out orders if we had a really busy day. He's, even till this day, I don't know how, but I've talked him into continually taking my photos all the time.
Yeah, he's good.
And
Can we just say that?
And he researches it, and he makes videos now and stuff. But Mike has always done his own thing.
Yeah,
he started his own company. Hustler. Yeah, he started his own company, which then led him to working for Disney, and now he's back at his own company. He does consulting for social media marketing. So what we do kind of aligns because he helps me with the knowledge that he has, but
he's still doing his own separate thing. Yeah. So it's cool to see that dynamic in a marriage. So I don't even really know the question I was asking. Just like, it's so interesting. So he's been a part of it, but he's not completely intertwined with it. Yeah. Very interesting. So Shine Project's 7 years old now?
The blog is, we turn, and then the product with the students in that program turns 6 in this June.
Wow. And was Nashville's your first brick and mortar, right?
Yes. So we have our headquarters that's in Phoenix, and then my husband and I decided we needed to move last year, and so we came out to Nashville, and we needed an office out here, and we thought, you know what, let's just make a store. So our first brick and mortar is out here in East Nashville, and our students work from there, and our employees work from there. It's small and fun. And
was starting a brick and mortar, like, how do I word this? I was going to be like, was it like hard? Was it totally different than running an online business?
It's different, honestly. It's been the easiest decision we've ever made because
that is not what I expected you to say.
Oh no, because we had to pay for office space up here anyway.
Oh, gotcha.
And so it might as well be something that we can make money from.
Yeah.
And where we are, we chose. I think the key is choosing a good spot.
Yeah.
So we have tourists all the time coming in.
That's so
and
cool.
It actually just kind of. Sometimes I forget that we have a store because it's just so self-sustaining, and there's a manager over it. And knock on wood, right? I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna have 20 text messages saying the store blew up, and then this might change things. But
no,
for now. Store's the easiest decision we've ever made.
Yeah, when I went to your event that night, there were a bunch of people there that were just like, we're passing through town. We thought we'd stop by. I was like, how cool is that? So they really, from your social media, there's enough traction and people knowing the brand to come in. Wow. Okay, so I don't know if this is a dumb question because you kind of answered this through telling your story. But let's say someone is listening and they're like, well, I want to do something. I want to build something. Where would you tell them to start?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I'm like, is it, or did I just ask a redundant question based off?
I wrote I'm so happy you said this. I wrote a free guide on this because people ask me all the time. It's called How to Start Anything.
Oh, so we'll link that down below.
But I think one of the keys is that you start with what you have.
Yes.
Because it sounds so simple, right? But whenever we want to do our next big thing or have a project or this idea, a lot of times the very first things that we think about are, well, I don't have this, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough knowledge, or I don't. And it becomes, we start focusing on what we don't have. Yeah. But in reality, we have enough of what we need. Yeah. Even if that's just your determination or your knowledge. And so being able to really sit down and list the 10 things that you have right now that can contribute to the launch and the growth of what you want your thing to become. Yeah. And then honing in on those so tight, like those are your biggest assets, and just taking those 10 things and using them to go start and to not delay it, because people always say, well, it's not the right time. When is it ever?
It's exactly.
And we have no guarantee. The only guarantee that we have in our life is what is happening right now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if we're going to be here tomorrow. So the time's now.
Yes.
And you need to take the 10 major things that you do have and stop focusing on what you don't have.
Yeah.
And get going.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you said the word simple, you triggered a thought in my head. I was listening to a sermon yesterday, and it was actually the word I've been repeating all day was like simple, simple, simple. And in the sermon, she was talking about how we all have this gift to overcomplicate everything.
Yes.
And when you overcomplicate it in your head, I don't know how many people are like me, but that will often like paralyze me.
Mm-hmm.
It'll stop me from doing things because it'll become so overwhelming and so big that it ends up not getting done. Whereas if I just simplified it and I thought simple, 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 I've gotten so much more done today just from repeating the word simple to myself all day. And I didn't even have to move at like a back-breaking that's the word, pace. I just got stuff done because I wasn't overcomplicating it. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with just like starting with what you have.
Yes.
And I think that's so great. People ask me all the time, like how I started YouTube, what I would say to them to start with YouTube. And I'm like, I started on my laptop. Like, it was a totally different ball game for me back then. All of the fancy equipment and editing tools and the employees that I have and, the management, all that stuff grew from something. But it's like you just start with what you have and that little seedling grows.
You start with what you have, and I always tell people too, sometimes that's the funnest part. And then when it grows and stuff, that's when it gets complicated and you're like, why did I ever start?
Rewind?
Can I not make it like this?
No, it's true.
So the beginning can be so fun, and it's such a fun, special time where you're able to go out, and how lucky we are that we get to go pursue our dreams, really.
And it's kind of beautiful, like, we're saying the exact same thing, really, but, like, there is something looking back on that period of time when I started YouTube. I'm obviously very grateful for where I'm at now, but there is something that was so sweet about nobody understanding what I was doing, and people being
what did you do?
Yeah, exactly. When are you going to move out of your parents' house? Like, and I get the questions. I don't want to, like, mock anyone, but it was, like, it was infuriating kind of at the time. Like, I'm embarrassed.
I'm worthy and I have talent.
Yeah. And now looking back, like, it was kind of beautiful because there's different struggles that go. Actually, this is a weird saying, but another pastor I listen to says new levels, new devils. But it's kind of true. Like, you hit new things, and there's other hardships that have come for me with now being more successful with all of that it's like sometimes I just wish people didn't get it. And like I said, this is just me being really vulnerable. Like, I'm not complaining per se, but now everybody wants to pick your brain once they get it. You know what I mean? But back then, it's like I didn't have to deal with like feeling bad about turning someone down because nobody got what I did. Nobody cared. Yeah. And now it's like I have this, I don't want to call it unnecessary because I feel for people, but we'll call it an unnecessary guilt of like when I have to turn people down because I don't have endless hours in the day. It's like I feel bad. So new levels, new devils, there's something so beautiful about that beginning simplicity, that phase, hustling, you know?
The hustle.
Yeah, you looked like you were going to say something.
No.
Just thinking.
Just taking it all in, yeah.
And we were having conversations off camera just about this exact same thing, about stuff growing and it just becoming a lot. And it can and is so amazing when stuff grows. But I guess just moral of the story, like the beginning, man, there's something really beautiful about that. Yeah. And in marriage, like we were saying.
Yeah.
I love looking back and thinking like, you know, Dan and I just passed our 10-year wedding anniversary, and we were just with each other thinking like, whoa, when we got married, we were so poor. We were so poor. And I was working so much, and he was working so much. And obviously we work a lot now, but we work together. It's different. Our quality of life is completely different. Our whole apartment was not even the size of this downstairs. Literally our entire apartment, you guys can't see this, but was like this wall. It was basically this room was our entire, because it was a garage, like I said. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something to remember too, that wherever you're at, does not mean you're going to stay there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's the launching point. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Are there any other points? What's coming up next for the Shine Project? Is that an annoying question?
No, it's not. So the Shine Project, really, what we're focusing on this year is kind of taking it back to what it was originally created for, which is to be a supportive community for women.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so if you go to our website and stuff, you'll see there's so many resources that I've put together to help women who want to become entrepreneurs or to...
So just what we're talking about.
What we're talking about, or
Wow.
to have help even finding your passion. I get so many questions about, how do I even know what I want to do? There's so many people who don't know. And so from what I have learned in my life, I'm like, okay, it's my time to put this all together so I can help other people. And so that's been really exciting. So I'm focusing on writing and speaking this year to try to just help pour into people who I'm trying to create what I wish I had 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started this on my own.
That's so cool. So yeah, I mean, everything that Ashley does will be linked down below because she's here obviously, but you're just such a cool person, and I want you to go and just dive into Ashley's stuff, because everything we were talking about this whole world of like women being in like business and having the freedom and the ability to build things they want to build.
And I think a lot of it comes back to, because women always had the ability, right? Like we could have, but the support wasn't there.
Exactly.
And now that it is, I think our biggest resource as women is each other.
Yeah.
And women are able to use our voices more now because we are empowering each other and allowing that space for each other to root each other on and say, okay, we can do that. And so that's what I want the Shine Project to be, is just another resource so that we can kind of be sideline cheerleaders for people, so that there is more space for women to go out and do really awesome things.
So cool. And shine.
And shine.
Ashley, I appreciate you. You know, I always tell you, I send like sappy texts. I'll just be like, I'm so happy to be your neighbor. But I don't know if I would have gotten to really know you. Like, I knew Mike through social media a little bit, but I'm just grateful to be your neighbor and to get to know you. And her heart, man, just go check Ashley out. And unless you have another path you'd love to dive down, I think that about wraps it up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right, guys. So check out Ashley. Thanks for doing tea talks.
Thanks. Tea water talk.
Yeah, tea water talk.
Last cheers. With
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I don't know why that was my sign off, but just do it. And I'll see you guys soon. Oh, last thing. If you didn't know this already, I feel like a lot of you guys do, but all of the tea talks I've been doing are on podcasts now. So if you want to go on there, if you want to listen on the go, you can do that. And that's it. All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.